you put forward a proposal for schools to encourage children to brush their teeth. Very worthy, and there may be some families who need this kind of guidance and support. But is it really the government's business to teach basic hygiene to the nation?
I wish it wasn't. It really shouldn't be. But when you've got tooth decay being the #1 cause of hospital admission amongst children aged between 6 and 10, and, you know, think about that for a moment, things so bad they're being admitted to hospital, that involves both a cost to the child and their health, but also a cost to the NHS, which I think is unbearable. And so if we know that there is a proven, tried and tested way of keeping kids' teeth clean and keeping them out of hospital, why wouldn't we take it? And that's why I put forward proposals for this scheme, which would benefit, you know, around 1 in 5
children. Why schools? Shouldn't parents and families be just doing this? Isn't this just a sort of devious way of saying you're not going to restore the collapsed NHS dental system?
No, quite the opposite.
No,
quite the opposite, Trevor. I think it's two things. One is it will take time to rebuild NHS dentistry. It is in such a sorry state, and I just warn people, if you want to know what the future of the NHS looks like under the Tories, look at NHS dentistry, which has been reduced to a poor service for poor people, if there's a service there at all. What we've got to do is to rebuild that. We've put in place a plan that will provide 700,000 extra emergency dentistry appointments a year, but it will take time. Even when that's successful, we've still got to focus, and this applies broadly across health, on prevention, not just treating sickness, but preventing ill health. That's good for the nation, good for the public finances.
But I'm asking you this in context of some of the other things you've been saying. You're worried that our children are getting shorter and fatter under the Tories, apparently. I want to ask you about priorities. When it comes to academic performance across the world, in 8 of the top 10 performing nations, people are shorter than or equal in height to Brits in Singapore, South Korea, China, Canada. They're all shorter, but they're brainier. Are you sure you've got your priorities right here? I mean, do we need to get into a whole tall, short thing when actually we should be teaching our children better?
Well, I hope the Conservatives haven't beaten hope out of this country to such an extent that we now think we have to choose between educated children and healthy children. We can do both.
Yeah, but what you're saying is it doesn't matter if we're thick, as long as we're tall, right?
Hang on a minute, hang on. This week we've had a whole week of Labour and policy announcements from Bridget Phillipson, the Shadow Education Secretary, early in the week, talking about how we boost attendance, raise standards in schools, and towards the end of the week, myself and Keir Starmer focusing on children's health. These are all fully costed, fully funded plans. Let's not let any of these pundits get away any longer with saying Labour has no policies. You've had a whole week of policies.
For once, I'm not